Hey everybody, happy Friday. Hope you guys had a great day. I decided to post a few videos this weekend because next week and then the week after, I'm going to be doing a lot of training when it comes to work and a lot of networking and things of that nature. So I will not be available to put out any content. I might be able to do maybe like a quick, energy check-in, things of that nature, but to post a full video, I probably will not be able to do that next week or the week after. So I wanted to just, put out some content for you guys because, it's important that I keep this channel going and that we have these conversations, okay? So today we are going to talk about validation. We're going to get right into it, okay? And when I say validation, I mean seeking validation outside of yourself. You know what I mean? Not really being confident in maybe your thoughts, your ideas, you know what I mean? And just how you feel about situations. So you go to other people for confirmation, when you should be looking inward for that, because your ideas, your thoughts, and how you feel, it matters. So I had this conversation with my therapist, I don't know, maybe like a week and a half ago. And I came to the conclusion that I seek validation from certain people. And this is something that I'm just starting to realize. And I know I told you guys before that, for me, healing is, an ongoing process. And I'm always learning new things about myself. And this is definitely one of those things that I've just learned. And I am doing my best to try to change that. I think for me, because what I like to do when I'm healing and, just thinking about everything that I've been through and how I can evolve, I like to get to the root of the problem. I like to, just sit down and just really think about where things started. I want to get to the source of the issue. How did I get to where I am today? If there's a certain type of behavior I want to change, I want to know how it started. Where did that begin? So I was doing some reflection, and I came to the conclusion that it all started around the age of 17 for me, seeking validation. And it started with my children's father. Now, after the assault, my family and I moved from Summerville, South Carolina to Virginia Beach almost instantly, maybe within a month after the assault. Okay, and when I was in Virginia Beach, I was just, living my life. And like I told y'all before, I suppressed a lot of what I was going through. And I just went on about life like it never happened. But I say about 10 months after I got to Virginia Beach, I ended up meeting my children's father. Now, I wasn't looking for a relationship or anything. It kind of just happened. But there was a lot of him, or there was a lot in him that I felt like I needed at the time. There was a lot of behaviors and just a lot of characteristics that he had that, caused me to gravitate towards him. For one, he had like a very protective energy, you know what I mean? I felt protected around him. He was very loving and considerate, and that's something I needed at that time, because after experiencing, what I experienced at 15, I needed some type of comfort. I needed some type of support. And I felt like I did not receive any of that from my family. The way my family handled my situation is they kind of just swept it under the rug. So I was dealing with abandonment issues. I was feeling alone. I was feeling, just like nobody cared. And even though at that time I was going on about my life like it never happened, internally, I was feeling these things. Subconsciously, I was feeling these things. And I chose my mate, I chose my boyfriend, my children's father, based off of what I was lacking and what I felt like I did not receive from my family when I was assaulted or after I was assaulted. And so I started dating my kid's father at 16, but I want to say around 17 is when the relationship went from something that was very positive and very, just fresh and fun, to something that was more dark and unhealthy. And that's when I think that the validation, me seeking validation from him started. Now, it started, with just small things. It was validation, and it was also control, on his part, just trying to control me. But of course, I didn't realize that I was only 17. And, in hindsight, of course, you can look back on things and analyze them and say, okay, this is what it was. But when you're young and you're in it, you're really not thinking like that. So when I was 17, I think it started, with small things like, him just talking about like my clothes, the outfits that I would wear, him saying, hey, you probably shouldn't wear that, you should wear this, or you probably shouldn't do that, you should do this, or you probably shouldn't say that, you should say this, you know what I mean? And then it became a pattern, and I started seeking him. I started looking to him for everything, I was stuck in this pattern, and it was like a snowball effect, and it just got worse and worse and worse over the years, and it just became the norm for me. I didn't know anything else outside of that relationship, and it just became something that I accepted, and I had so many blocks, so many mental blocks, and just started to feel like I was less than and not good enough. And anything that I did think, if I did present it to him, in his eyes, it was never enough, so that made me just feel even worse. You know what I mean? So fast forward to present day, and just me trying to figure out, well, how do I get from point A to B? How do I get from here where I'm, realizing that I seek validation? How do I get from here to a place where I look to myself, and I am confident in my thoughts and my desires, and knowing and understanding that what I feel is definitely important. So I decided to start doing some mirror work. I've actually been doing mirror work, but when I do my mirror work, what I like to do is I like to focus on certain aspects. So in the past, I've done mirror work, and I would focus on my inner child, specifically on me as a 15-year-old girl, looking in the mirror and talking to that 15-year-old girl and letting her know that she's safe, she's okay, she's loved, and so on and so forth. Because as you get older, that person, that little girl, that little boy who was abused is still there. They need to be nurtured and they need to be cared for, right? So I've been doing a lot of mirror work and just focusing on me at the age of 15, but then I feel like I need to also focus on me in other points of my life. For an example, at the point where I realized I started to seek validation, I need to go and do some mirror work and look at myself in the mirror and talk to my 17-year-old self, my 18-year-old self, and so on and so forth, and let her know that she is good enough. It's important that you speak that into yourself, because that little child, that little boy, that little girl is a part of you. You know what I mean? And if you don't address those issues, then it's going to affect your relationships, your romantic relationships, your friendships, the relationships you have with your family. It's going to affect the way you communicate. So you have to address those issues from your childhood, right? And if you don't know where to begin, I suggest that you start journaling. Journaling is something that I love to do. And like I said, just reflect and think about the times or the moments where you feel like, you know, maybe your life started to change and shift, or you feel like maybe you started feeling different about yourself. What was that moment like? What happened in that moment? You know, how old were you in that moment? And then do some mirror work and talk to that part of you. It's important. You know what I'm saying? You got to do it. You have to do it. You know what I'm saying? If you really want to get to the real true core of healing, then you know what I'm saying? It's definitely something that you should do. And with that being said, I'm going to leave it there. Please share this video so we can spread awareness. You know what I mean? If there's someone that you know who you think could benefit from this, then please share. Also, if you are not following me on Instagram, please do so. I will leave the links in the description box. If you want to connect with me, you want to reach out to me, if you'd like to have a conversation, then you can reach out to me via email. I'll leave that below as well. And pretty soon I'm gonna start inviting people on, and we'll have like a panel discussion, but I'm still trying to figure that whole thing out, and I'm gonna get some help from my good friend John when it comes to that, because I'm new to this YouTube thing and I'm really not sure how it works, but it's gonna be good. It's gonna be real good. But thank you guys for listening tonight, and I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. It's a long weekend too, so enjoy it. All right, peace.